welcome back. Our next guests are true believers in the phrase strength in numbers. The idea is outlined in their new book, True North Groups, A Powerful Path to Personal and Leadership Development. And we're going to talk about this concept today. I am thrilled to have both Bill George and Doug Baker here today. And I want to get this right, so you guys tell me if I get off track, but I wanted to just start, Bill, with your resume here. I mean, Harvard, Medtronic, Honeywell, the Defense Department, and Doug, on your resume, Ameriprise, and all these other companies. Want to build a resume like that, you should find your true north, right, Bill?
Absolutely. In fact, the question is, how do you stay true to what you believe in throughout your career? We see so many leaders lose their way, whether it's the governor of New York or the CEO of Hewlett-Packard. A lot of people just get off track because they forget who they are at their essence. Well, what keeps you on track? And what's kept me on track all these years is working with Doug and 6 other guys in a small group that we now call a True North group, that we meet every Wednesday morning. I had to give a speech this morning. He met with the group, but talk about what's really important in life.
Keep you centered.
Keep you centered. A number of years ago, when I was making a decision whether I wanted to stay at Honeywell or move on, this group helped me a great deal and see the opportunities in Medtronic and rethink how I look at myself. And keep you centered. How do you get not caught up in your ego from going off and thinking it's all about you? And really see your own blind spots. I have lots of blind spots. Denial is a strong factor that many of us have.
Well, Doug, we were saying this is the opposite of the yes man. You don't want the yes man in your group. You want someone who will tell you the honest truth.
Exactly. And getting good group members is really key, because you want people that you can trust and who will maintain confidentiality and yet have the perspective and the understanding of your life to help you sort out things that you need to do.
If you could create a list, maybe if you were going to make an ad in the newspaper, what kind of qualities would you list in a person who will be good for one of these groups?
Well, you want someone who's grounded, who's comfortable in their own skin, who doesn't need therapy, because there are good groups for those, and they should be in those things. You want people who are self-reflective, who are still anxious to grow and develop and find out who they are and become who they can be. Those are really the key kinds of qualities.
Now, you've been doing this since 1975. Well, I imagine there are ups and downs. What's the hardest part about keeping a group like this together? What are the pitfalls?
Well, I think, one, you have to have a commitment that everyone's going to be there. 2, I think it has to be a sharing. We're using a model where people come in and actually take the program. So you have to have substance, essence. You're not just talking about how the Vikings did last weekend. You're talking about and you have to be open and honest, and confidentiality. Doug mentioned this. Without confidentiality, the group will fail. And so I think we actually in this book, True North Groups, we recommend a member's contract where people actually sign on to the things Doug mentioned: confidentiality, openness, and the other thing is non-judgmental feedback. Can I tell you something about myself and you won't judge me for it? And I think that's really critical, so that trust develops over a fairly quick period of time, fairly short period of time.
So trust, a key block in this. Without violating any trust, could each of you give me a point where the group really was the important deciding factor in a decision that you went with in your life?
I'll give you a quick one. Yes, my wife had breast cancer, and I came to the group, and I was actually in denial that, and she and I was not as open emotionally to her as I should be, because I was in denial because my mother and fiance had both died of cancer. And the group helped me see my own blind spot. And they said, Bill, and they helped me link these. They knew my life story, and they helped me link these things, which I was blind to. And so then I could go back and cry with my wife and be a much better support system in her life. By the way, she's doing fine after 15 years.
That was my follow-up. Good.
She's doing well after 15 years.
So it's not just business; it's personal too. And do you have one where the group?
Well, yeah, I had an opportunity to go to New York for a very large job. Neither my wife Carol nor my group thought it was a good idea. I took it to them, and they voted 7-0 to turn it down.
Well, that was an overwhelming vote.
Well, I had to think about it for a while, don't you know? But yeah, it was overwhelming, and it was very helpful.
I like the whole idea because it takes the pressure off you, and you really can invite these trusted advisors in.
We need a group. Life can be very lonely, and if you left your own devices, you're probably going to make the wrong decision. You're going to turn inward. You need someone around that you can trust to give you that honesty, to be there when you really need it. And you never know. So you don't form a group when you're in trouble. You form a group now, and you meet with the regulars, so they really know you at the core level.
Well, it's wonderful to meet you guys, and if you'd like to learn more about building a group, True North Groups, A Powerful Path to Personal and Leadership Development, is available in major bookstores everywhere. We're going to send it over to Pat now.